And they are
we
people
continue
who
to
are
update breaking news. Governor Shapiro at the Hershey Medical
the
Center talking
operations
about
of the
plane crash involving a state police helicopter
and we're so
and an airplane.
grateful
Let's listen in.
that they are going to be okay. We not only had the opportunity to spend time with their families, who are obviously relieved that they are okay, but I think what is important for you to also know is that lining the hallways here at this outstanding medical center were all the troopers and all the leadership of the aviation unit and many members of our state police family who rushed to this scene when they knew that one of their brothers, two of their brothers, were injured. That speaks to the family that is the Pennsylvania State Police, the love and respect they all have for one another, and as their governor, the appreciation and deep respect that I have for each and every one of them. Tonight could have been much worse. Tonight could have been much more tragic for our state police family. Thank God that it wasn't. One of the reasons for that is because of the outstanding medical care that they received here at Hershey. You're going to hear in a moment from Dr. Ludwig. She and her team did extraordinary work here, and we are thankful to them, to the doctors, to the nurses, to the medical staff who do this work every single day, but tonight they were called upon to do it for these wonderful members of the Pennsylvania State Police. So, Doc, we appreciate you very much. Also want to thank Dr. Michael Kupperman, the CEO here at Hershey. It says a lot about the leadership of Hershey that he came here this evening, that he wanted to be here to not just stand with the Pennsylvania State Police, and they support the state police every day, but to stand here and make sure that his team, his outstanding team, had everything they needed to be able to care for our troopers. And we are incredibly grateful for the leadership that you showed here. I'm thankful that we are joined tonight by the leadership of the State Troopers Association. Steve Polishin, who joins us, represents the women and men of the Pennsylvania State Police, and we thank you, Steve, for rushing here to the scene. And I'm most especially thankful for the strong leadership of Colonel George Bivens, who leads the Pennsylvania State Police every day. He is someone who is without peer. He is someone who feels in his heart and in his gut the pain that these troopers are feeling right now in their bodies. And he is someone who has earned my deep respect and leads the Pennsylvania State Police just in an outstanding way. He's going to provide some additional facts on what happened in Carlisle this evening. It is obviously a fluid situation and an ongoing investigation, so he'll be limited in his comments. Then you'll hear from Dr. Ludwig on behalf of Hershey Medical, and then I'll come back up and we'll do our best to answer your questions. Colonel Bivens.
Thank you, Governor. Good evening. I want to stress that the information that I'm going to provide is very preliminary, as there will be a very detailed investigation conducted. But what we do know at this point is that at about 6:30 p.m. this evening, one of our helicopter crews based out of Harrisburg was down at the Carlisle Regional Airport conducting some routine training exercises. At about 6:52 p.m., they were hovering several feet off of the ground, not on the runway, on a grass area adjacent to a runway. A small Cessna Model 150, which is a two-seat, typically used as a trainer aircraft, approached from behind, lined up with one of the runways near that grass area. As that Cessna came down along that runway, for an unknown reason, it veered hard to the right at the last moment. It struck the helicopter from the rear. The pilots would not have been able to even see that airplane approaching them. It hit the rear tail rotor and went into the main rotor of the helicopter, resulting in a very violent crash. The plane crashed into the ground a short distance ahead in many pieces. The helicopter without its blades and without its tail boom, rolled inverted and crashed into the ground on its side and partially over onto its roof. Both pilots were initially, from the helicopter, were initially trapped inside the helicopter. The corporal was in a position to push out a window and assist the trooper who he believed had some more serious injuries and had a lot of bleeding, was able to assist him out through that window and got both of them out of the helicopter. There was certainly a lot of concern that there could be a fire or other hazard because of the violent nature of the crash. Within a very short period of time, others who had been at the airport arrived on scene, provided assistance. The one known occupant of the Cessna 150 did not survive the crash. We're not prepared to release information on that individual yet, pending notification of next of kin. And there is a lot of investigation to be done there. The FAA and NTSB will head up that investigation, supported by the Pennsylvania State Police. We have secured the scene, and as of about 35 or 40 minutes ago, the FAA did arrive on scene. The NTSB is expected sometime overnight. As I said, we've secured that scene, and we're prepared to provide evidence that we had already gathered. There is some video and photographs that are available that will be able to be used to reconstruct what occurred. At this point, I'll turn it over to Dr. Ludwig to talk a little bit about the care and the status of our pilots since their arrival here at Hershey Med. So, Dr. Ludwig?
Hi, I'm Dr. Ashley Ludwig. I'm the Trauma Medical Director here at Hershey Medical Center. This evening, we received 2 patients that came in as level 1 trauma activations, and both of them, thankfully, came out with just minor injuries and are stable. I'd like to thank our pre-hospital colleagues, as well as my trauma team and all of the team that goes into taking care of these patients. And we're very grateful that our colleagues with the Pennsylvania State Police are doing as well as they are.
Thank you, Dr. Ludwig. I would just note a couple more things here. You know, cops are tough, and they don't always take direction very well. But when Dr. Ludwig told them to do something, they did exactly what she said. It speaks to the respect they have for the wonderful doctors here at Penn State Health, and we're really incredibly thankful to you and your team. I neglected to mention one other important piece of information. The Colonel touched on this with the FAA being on the scene. I want to say a special thanks to Secretary Sean Duffy of the U.S. Department of Transportation. We communicated within the last hour. We asked them if they could expedite the presence of the FAA on the ground. And Secretary Duffy was outstanding in meeting that request and making sure that the FAA was here to begin this investigation immediately. So I do want to thank Secretary Duffy and the Trump administration for their support of our community in this really difficult time. With that, the doctor, Colonel, and I will be happy to do our best to answer any questions you have.
Do we know if there was any communication between air traffic controllers and the plane at all, or if that's part of the investigation, anything there that you're able to share?
That will be a part of the investigation. I do know that there is not a control tower there, but there is a common traffic radio frequency that is used by traffic there, and that there was some communication on that frequency. We'll have to, as part of the investigation, sort all of that out.
The other pilot that is deceased, do we know at least if he's local or she is local?
We do know something about that pilot. The plane was based here. I really am not prepared to say anything more about the pilot, pending the notification.
Were there any...
Again, Governor Shapiro tonight regarding the helicopter and plane crash in Cumberland County. Speaking from the Hershey Medical Center, we heard him say that the 2 troopers that were in the helicopter are expected to be okay. Hershey Medical Center doctor confirms that. The state police commissioner says it all happened around 6:30 this evening at the Carlisle airport, where the state police helicopter was involved in routine exercises, and while hovering, a small Cessna airplane flew into the back of the helicopter, causing the crash. Both troopers were able to get out of the downed helicopter. The one known occupant of the airplane was killed. That person is yet to be identified. The FAA, the NTSB, and Pennsylvania State Police will all work together to investigate. We'll continue to keep you updated on air and online as more information about this mishap comes out.